each one of the regions in Starcraft are playing. So
yeah, she's very worldly.
Taking a look, we just got the Reaper harassment going on. Just gonna continue to pick away at some of the Lings, but it's overall looking like a pretty normal game. Scarlett does start up her Zergling speed a bit after the third base is already started up, so kind of delaying that for a little bit, not rushing up for it by any means. And in the meanwhile, Reactor Factory coming up. Gonna probably be seeing a little bit of Hellion harassment. Then we'll wait to see what kind of add-on goes on that starport, and that's gonna be probably where things will start to shift a bit. Oh, it's a Liberator. Liberator first, and then oftentimes you'll still follow this up by swapping that tech lab over to the starport, getting up a Banshee.
The Liberator is already a change of pace. My heart is palpitating right now.
I can hear it in your voice, Captain Hole.
Yeah, this could go places.
More Lings on the way here. So Scarlett, when is she actually going to get a scout on this? Because she only has one Overlord on time side of the map. It's actually sitting over by the natural, so there's not going to be a lot of easy natural scouting to see that Liberator making its way across the map. The Hellion's going to keep those Lings preoccupied, so they're not going to be sitting maybe somewhere out in the middle where they scout the Liberator as it makes its way over. So Scarlett going to need to have a good reaction, especially if all of the Hellions are also, or sorry, the Hellions are keeping the Queens busy. But Reaper goes down, Ling stays back.
That's pretty sloppy. It's not the biggest of deals, but there's a lot of Hellions coming up, by the way.
Yeah.
And no armory, right?
Well, let's see. He's up to 8 Hellions. Yeah, is he just going to go into mech? No, he's got Stim on the way.
That's a lot of Hellions. And it's another Liberator.
And I think he just swapped the factory off, so he's not making any more Hellions now. But 8 Hellions, just a bit more than you usually see. So gonna siege up over here, get a couple of drone kills. Scarlett still has her Queens relatively in position, but not fast enough to do a lot of damage to the Liberator. And the Hellions just going for an interesting run by. They are going to be committing into that natural for a second, but then the Lings come swarming on, and the Queen's coming in from both sides, and every single one of these Hellions going to be taking a good amount of damage, if not being killed. The Liberator, I mean, he gets a few more drone kills and gets a Queen, but that probably wasn't the damage the time was looking for such an investment.
No.
Small little push down to the third base as time tries to establish that. Scarlett's still a good ways away from finishing up Baneling speed and 1-1, so I imagine she's probably going to be waiting before getting aggressive by any means. So I think we are just going to be chilling back, waiting for some of the action to start ramping up, because same thing goes for time. He's still waiting on 1-1. Combat Shield's still a good ways away from finishing, even if he has Stim. And both these players are going to continue macroing up, but I do think that this that kind of situation does favor Scarlett a little bit more, because she's getting away with a bit more greed.
I would say significantly favors her, my man.
Yeah.
Her creep spread's insane, and not even this game, it's just that if you give up your ability to stop the creep spread, then it's going to be ridiculous. But time's moving over here, and they are expanding towards each other, by the way, which typically favors the Terran player. So we'll have to see if that ends up being something time can capitalize on. That's how they would say it in Manchester.
Yeah, it's been a pretty passive game for the most part, though. I mean, that was the Hellion run by, and then Scarlett cleans that up, gets total map control. Time goes for a eventual second push when he finally musters up another force. And then that kind of gets cleaned up. I mean, does snipe off a lot of the Banelings, so it's not a terrible trade for time. And hey, sniping off a couple of these mutas, definitely not bad. Scarlett is going up to Hive, though. She's getting up for 2-2 and keeping up pace with the time on the upgrades. And like you said, I mean, the creep spread is not necessarily directly in front of Time's door, but that's a lot of space that Time has to go over before we can actually get in range of a hatchery now.
Yeah,
okay, well, Scarlett actually throws down the Ultra Cavern. Yeah, that's interesting. Not going for the Greater Spire. So I was thinking maybe she was leaving some room to morph in some Broodlords or something eventually, but no. She maxes out as she sees the push coming across the map. A lot more Banelings going to be finishing up. She's going up to about 50 Banelings right now, so going to be hitting before either one of these players has 3-3. It's even upgrades, and Scarlett on creep is going to demolish a lot of the Marines on the south side. North side still has a few more, but Scarlett also has a few Banelings left over, and that might be enough that Time doesn't really feel super confident pushing so much further forward.
Yeah, without the corruption, the Liberators are shutting down a lot of these bases, and it just takes a lot of control to even deal with them anyways. And now Banelings, again, not really finding their connections, mostly getting traded out.
Really a good split there from Time on creep versus speed Banelings, but Mewtwo's finally cleaning up some of those Corruptors. The Ultras are going to be popping very soon. They're going to have chitinous platings, but I don't think that they're going to have the Ultra speed upgrade just yet, so gonna have a hard time catching up with some of that bio.
That's what the creep show is for, I suppose.
Yeah.
And off these 4 bases now, time shoving forward. Supply is pretty equal.
How do you feel about the Thors versus the Ultras? Because it's like a weird interaction where I feel like the Thors actually do a lot to the Ultras, but they also just die really fast to them.
I personally don't have a strong opinion, but Nate was saying that it's very good for the Thors. So I'll go with his expertise.
Nate is the kind of guy who would make a lot of Thors in his games. The Night Storm is finished up. Doesn't look like Scarlett has loaded up a whole lot of her army into it just yet. She's got most of her army on the front lines. Widow Mines only killing off a single Zergling each. Nice spread out there from Scarlett. And this one medevac is, I mean, it does go totally spotted by the creep, but Scarlett just doesn't have that much army to react to it right now. She's busy dealing with the main army engagement, and one of those Widow Mines gets a very juicy connection on a lot of these Banelings. Does Scarlett have enough to push through?
Well,
gets
on that mineral line now.
Oh boy, yep, that's enough.
I would say so. Good drop in the backfield there.
Yeah.
Scarlett winning the main fight and killing the base means that look at the supplies. She's got this one.
Yeah.
Into bag.
54 more Lings on the way. Scarlett gonna have a much faster remax and even keeps that hatchery alive, so has a little bit extra larva and can still mine from that.
If she can just finally break into this base, then that should be the back of time.
Yeah.
She's got no bank.
Okay, she is making Corruptors. I was about to say, like, with so many Liberators, you want to see the Corruptors or the Muta's enough, but yeah, Corruptors on the way. Nice from finally going up in the main distance. She sees time at long last. Is going to try pushing outside of that 5th base.
There's nothing coming over there, by the way.
What does she have loaded up in the Night Storm? Because she's got a lot of her Ultras and stuff over here in the front. I don't see that many Lings. Night Storm finishes and there's nothing in it.
Yeah. Ta-da!
But don't worry, all the Liberators are going to come forward. The Ghosts are here. It's going to clean it up. Oh, Lord.
Yep, a little bit underused that way, because I think if the Lings would have popped out, that could have been a huge problem. As it is, now Time's going to be aware of this strategy.
Haven't seen a lot of Vipers or anything to try and pull any of those Liberators, so I guess just saying, yeah, I got a lot of Corruptors. I got +3 air weapons, so let's start going for those armor upgrades, keep them alive a little bit longer. And now we're starting to see maybe a couple of Vipers being added in. Scarlett, this is where I start getting a little bit afraid, because yes, I think Scarlett's in a very, very good spot. I mean, you look at her bank, you look at the control that she has on the map, but this army for Time does get really scary, and it's not always going to be super easy to push into.
No. I love that he's pushing down the middle, though.
Yeah, there's some Ultras in that Nidus Storm this time. So going to be able to try and get in on top of that production, trade out. That's actually a really nice force. Just 3 Ultras and a couple of Lings. It's going to be very difficult to clean up.
Especially when you're losing over here.
Oh, yeah. The Ghosts, 4 Ghosts manage to survive, but the Corruptors are going to kill off almost every single one of these Liberators. Nope, they don't even get the chance. Time taps out.
It's awesome.
Incredible.
Right.
And our viewership's growing, and our fan base is only becoming more powerful.
That's right.
Eventually, we'll take over the world once more.
Yeah, indubitably.
We're just biding our time.
That's true.
We're just waiting. Let them get their battle royales out, their Overwatch leagues, that kind of stuff. Let them get it out of their system.
That's the cool thing is Starcraft 2 has stood the test of time. It's a great game. And lots of better stuff constantly coming out.
The best RTS, man.
Yeah. Nothing comes close, baby. So, was Neeb just trying to block the natural then with that really fast probe and just maybe scouting for like a crazy pool timing? Because that's like a really fast time to send out the scout, no?
It is, but it was just a hatch block because he didn't even check the main from what I remember.
Okay.
But, you know, Scarlett was already just like, that's fine. I'll just take the 3rd up with the other one as my natural.
All right, all right, all right. There's that Adept getting chronoed out.
2nd Adept, actually. The first one's reaching the natural right now. And this is something that I never appreciated, but I've talked to some of the other programmers that face Neeb, and they talk about this being more impactful than it looks like. He's so crisp and so fast about his Adepts that they get there absolutely as fast as is possible, and they just immediately begin to dictate what the Zerg can do. Like, there's no drone transfer at this point. Your slowlings can't do anything. Speed will finish, but guess what? Neeb probably backs out before that matters. Or he just commits to it.
He commits to the shade. He had them in between
I mean,
the
this
mineral
is already
patches.
bad
He's gonna
for
grab
Scarlett.
3 drones. 4. And I think one of them. Nope. Okay. So they both die, but 5 drones for 2 adepts, Jeff.
Incredible.
Okay.
Absolutely worth it.
Is that? That's not a wall. No, it's not.
No.
Goodbye,
This is
Jeff.
bad. He actually might just die.
Well,